Rich and I have been getting yelled at. Now, Rich, you were at a successful event last night, which was in Wakefield, which was the final three contestants, I guess, for the big WBCN Wing Bowl tonight at the Hooters at Route 1 in Saugus.
Yeah, the guy who won the whole thing ate 2 pounds, 13 ounces worth of wings in 5 minutes, which, just to compare, the guy who won Hardee's was only 2.5 pounds, and second place last night was only 1 pound and 11 ounces. So, I mean, this guy is going to kill it. He's going to kill it tonight. But I got to my gig about 20 minutes early, and you know how that is sometimes. If you get there early, you don't want to go right into the bar because, you know, especially if you got like a couple errands to run or something like that. And I remember I had a couple phone calls I had to make, but I really had to use the bathroom. So what I did was I passed the bar that I was going to and that was going to be doing the appearance at that night, and I drove a little bit down the road, and I saw this little Italian restaurant that was in a strip mall, and pulled in, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go and use the bathroom real quick. So I pull up to the front of where the restaurant is, actually more to the right of the restaurant, in front of like a hardware store that was right next to it, and I walk in, and when I walk into the restaurant, it's about 6 o'clock at night. There's a few people eating in the little dining room to the left, and to the right of me, I see there's a hall where the bathrooms are, and straight up ahead, I see these two older women kind of working and looking at me as I walk in. I'm like, all right. So I take a right, head to the bathroom, and take care of business. I'm in there for maybe 3 minutes. Well, when I'm done, I open up the door of the bathroom, and standing right outside the door is one of these 65-year-old ladies who was looking at me as I walked in. She's about 5'0", looking up at me. As soon as I walk in the door, it startles the hell out of me. And she goes, oh, excuse me, can I help you? And I looked at her, I was like, no, I just needed to use the bathroom, that's it. And she goes, yeah, no, you're not allowed to do that. Our restrooms are for customers only. Don't ever do that again. And so I looked at her, and I was about to go into it, and through my head, I'm like, this is so insane that this woman waited for me to come out of the bathroom. I'm like, all right, so you try to do the whole spiel, I'm never going to eat in this place. I was planning on doing it. All I did was look at her and went, okay.
Right.
In that voice.
Which is an ingenious marketing strategy for your restaurant, because I'm sure it's a huge problem for them. I mean, I could see if it's a hobo or someone, running from the law.
Right, I'm wearing like a Gap jacket.
Right. If it's someone, a would-be customer, might as well just tell them to F off before they even bother to sit down.
But it doesn't end there. So I look at her and I go, okay, and kind of laugh at her and walk out the door. And I go into my car and I sit down. I've got to make a couple phone calls, and I've got maybe 10 minutes left before my gig starts. So I start scrolling through my phone, and I'm checking my email, and I'm looking through things, and I look up, and I realize that one of the other women who was working there was peeking out of the drapes at me, at my car, and looking at me. When she sees that I look up, they shut again. And I'm like, all right, this is really
obviously
strange.
A happening place. How many people were dining? I wonder how many people are waiting for their food. The chef's like looking out the window. It's that odd that someone came into your public establishment, I see.
So I go back down, I start checking more email, and about 30 seconds later, I look up, and this time she's not hiding. She is standing to the right of where the drapes are in a big window, and she is very obviously and blatantly taking a picture of my license plate with her cell phone. And I look at her, and I just start laughing. I'm sitting in my car, I'm like, what the hell are you going to do with this? And so at that point, she sees that I'm looking at her, and she sees that I laugh, and I go back down, and I'm like, scroll through the phone, I'm like, this is pretty funny. And then I see that she is on the phone and like talking and looking at my car. Is she calling the cops? I don't know. But I'm sitting there saying, you know what? I kind of want to stick around and see if cops show up. Because what are they?
Oh, hell
yeah. What are they going to say to you?
Yeah, exactly. What are you doing out here? I'm sitting in my car checking my email.
Yeah, what are you going to arrest me for checking my email? I wasn't even in front of the actual restaurant. I was just to the right of it. So they can't complain about it being like on their property or whatever. Yeah, what is my crime? Going in and illegally using the bathroom without being a customer.
Right, that's loitering and soliciting. Yes.
So I so wanted to stick around and see if they ended up calling the cops on me, but it was like three minutes till my gig started. I'm like, damn it. So I had to take off. But screw you, this stupid-ass restaurant. I'd love to say your name on the air, but I'm not going to.
Well, I have been having to run more errands than I would like recently, and I was in Newton, and because I had to go somewhere there, and I'm driving around, and it's a big pain in the ass to park there because everyone's taking up the meters. And finally, I see a woman and her child, and not a little kid, like a little kid, but not like a car seat kid, get into a car that's in a parking spot. I see them leave a business, get in the car, shut the door. She turns on the car. I then pull over a little bit and turn on my blinker like I'm going to pull into her spot. It's not even a parallel parking spot. She's like the last spot. Mm-hmm. She sees me, and for some unknown goddamn reason, this seems to infuriate her that I would have the audacity to want to take the spot that she has just been in. Perhaps there was a couple minutes left on the meter, and she didn't feel like letting me have it.
Oh, it's the parking space entitlement syndrome. As soon as they see that someone's waiting for it, they're like,
oh, she was screwing with the rearview mirror, and I was on the phone, and I waited for 4 minutes, and she never pulled out. She was just sitting there for 4 minutes because she didn't want me to have her parking spot. So I leave there, and I end up parking in a parking lot. So then I go and do what I have to do. I come back into my car. I turn on the car, and I wait for it to heat up so I can turn on my wiper blades. That takes about like a few minutes. My car's on. It's a little dark out, so my lights are on. You can see me. It's plain as day. I then put the car in reverse. I check everywhere, and I ease my foot off the brake, and all of a sudden you hear bam, bam, bam on my back window, and it's like some old lady, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, and I turn, and I put the brakes in the car, and then I thought about it, and I'm like, I've been in reverse now for about 15 to 30 seconds, and you just had to walk in this big-ass parking lot, like I had moved, Rich, an inch. I had just taken it, so you were like hugging my bumper, you crazy-ass old lady. So then I get in the car, and I drive, and I start driving. And then, it's snowy and icy, so I'm being cautious. And people are, this is my favorite thing, on a 2-lane road, the people that want to go into a place, so they turn on their hazard lights next to a parked car, as if, well, your hazards are on. Now you're not taking up the lane, you jerk. Thanks a lot. And then I got to wait for this school bus to stop and let all these kids off. So let's just block the whole road up. And there's a bunch of that. But then when and another thing that I like is that in this weather, when people pull out into your lane to take a left when they're leaving somewhere, and their strategy is just to pull right out into one lane and wait so then they can better see the other lanes. So this is all happening. I'm getting honked at for no reason. So I finally pull into a drugstore parking lot, and I get out of my car, and I walk in, and I pick up what I need, and I'm walking down the aisle, and this foreign dude in a big coat is walking down the same aisle as me, and he does not. I turn my body to the side, completely to the side, to get by him. He does not move. He does not tilt in 1 inch. Does not tilt, as if I'm doing something to piss him off by walking down the same aisle as him, as if, how dare you? This is my aisle. And he bumps me. He bumps, what kind of crazy bastard bumps you like that? So he bumps me, and I'm already fed up with everybody, and I just go, God damn it! I yell, and then the guy turns around, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, he pushed me into the makeup stuff. I mean, what kind of person are you? And he's like a little guy. I mean, obviously he was big. I wouldn't have done anything. But he's like a little guy. And I'm like, God, and he just like walks away. I said, I've had it with you crazy people. Everyone is so entitled. That's why there's so many car accidents. I always say, why are there so many car accidents? It's because people are idiots. And now people won't even yield to you while you're walking down an aisle. He pushed me into the... What did I do? I'm just sitting there. What did I do to this guy?
I just wanted to use the bathroom.
It's the weather. People are insane. And then, so that's why yesterday, when I got home, finally... Because it's brutal driving anywhere where that's not the highway. It's just brutal because everyone's a jackass and an idiot and not leaving their parking spots. So yesterday, when I saw it was raining, I did the very minimum that I had to do, and I went home and I said, there's no way I'm leaving. I'm staying right here with these maniacs. In the summer, it's fine. In the summer, everyone's having a good time. They go out. But this winter's been too hard on people. Maniacs, every single one of them. I can't even drive. I don't know if it's my fault, if it's their fault. Bumping me into a wall.